The following is an opinion show, and nothing said in this show should be taken as fact or be taken literally. They're just goofing around, trying to have fun. You do like to have fun, don't you? Also, this show is not for kids, so listener discretion is advised. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of Geekus Speakus. My name is Dean.
And I'm Brian, and holy crap, it has been way too fucking long.
Yes, it has.
Whoo! Dropping the F-bomb in the first minute.
Yeah, man. Woo! That's quality control on our end.
Right? So bits of being sick, being busy, and then my computer crapping out last week. I'm still working on reinstalling everything. By the way, do you want to know what happened real quick before we get into this?
Go ahead.
Chrome updated, but my computer decided to reboot during the update, and it corrupted my entire hard drive.
See, this is why I don't use Chrome. Also,
it's the first time it's ever happened, and it's a total fluke. It's like a 1 in a million chance, but that's what fucking happened.
I don't use Chrome for that reason. Also, because I don't like Google monitoring everything I do. I already have that with Twitter and Facebook. I don't want to make it worse.
I have an Android phone. They're already monitoring everything I do. They can listen to me right now.
I mean, they are. Right now, actually, with your phone.
I'm using my phone. My Google Chrome's open. I'm using Google Docs. Yeah, they know everything I'm doing.
Yeah. And they're selling it to the highest bidder. I really feel like, by the way, that considering how much they sell our data for, we should get some of that back. Because it's not like they're making, like $13 based on our data. They're making a lot of money based off of our data. I feel like you should get some of that back, Google.
Oh, and then I guess one more thing before we get into this. Bill Oakley is following me on Instagram.
Nice.
I went to Everything's Coming Up Simpsons podcast live show. Got to meet Julia Prescott and Allie Gertz from that podcast. Got the book of theirs signed. And Bill Oakley was there, and I got to chat with him again, and he added me on Instagram.
Nice.
Yep.
We're also being followed on Twitter by the director of Second City Chicago.
Nice.
I'm trying not to fanboy a bit over here because Second City is some legacy comedy there. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Up there with the likes of
Groundlings and
UBC.
Yeah. A lot of people
UCB.
Yeah. Before we get
what the fuck is UBC?
The Ultraman Broadcasting Corporation.
Awesome.
You know
what?
What?
Keep going. I was gonna say that does remind me of a trailer we have. Segue, but let's segue a little bit later.
I don't know. I'm excited about that. Honestly, I mean, come on. The dude runs Second City. Many people from Second City went to go on to the original cast of SNL, and they still pull from Second City for a few SNL actors too. So,
because Second City is the Chicago one, UCB is, I want to say, LA.
No, LA is Groundlings.
LA is Groundlings. UCB is New York.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm fanboying a bit here. I don't know if he's listening, but if you are, hi.
Hello! Alright, so this is going to be a long episode, guys, so bear with us. Let's go ahead and you want to get into some trailers?
Let's get into some trailer talk.
Alright, so it's been a bit since I've watched these, so let's see if I can go off of memory.
The good news is I remember to do the voice.
Trailer talk! So, Secret Life of Pets 2.
Let's stop making this a franchise. Moving on.
There was something I wanted to... There was something on it, like, oh, that's kind of cute, but it doesn't need to be a franchise. The first one kind of flopped. I think it's, there's something on there, but whatever. It looks not perfect. Mm-hmm. It's a kids movie. If you want to take your kids with you, take your kids with you. Patton Oswalt's hilarious,
Of course, Patton's always hilarious.
So, all right. So all right. So moving on. We're gonna just kind of bam, bam, bam this.
Let's do
We got another replicas trailer.
Science be crazy, yo. That's my. It doesn't. It's been like 2 weeks since I looked at this trailer, admittedly. But it doesn't seem like we got any new information. It's just Keanu Reeves is cloning his family, and it looks like the control of cyborgs now.
There's cyborgs in there. Like I'm. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see Keanu Reeves get back to his sci-fi roots, I guess. 'Cause that's
Right.
kind of where he was for like 10 years.
But I mean, it looks like a typical like action drama.
Yeah. Traction?
Attraction or
Attraction?
yeah, Traction.
Trauma, action. I guess you can't do actma. So yeah, traction.
Traction.
I honestly, I mean, I still don't want to watch it, weirdly enough. And
I feel it's gonna be one of those ones that like if it's on TV and I'm somewhere where like I'll watch it on like Netflix or like on TV or something.
yeah, like
I can see this definitely being a movie that's played on like FX all the time.
Oh, there's one thing and you're right about that. That does seem like an FX movie. But there's one thing before anyone gets onto us. Yes, we know Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Aquaman has been released. I have not seen either, so we'll probably cover it next episode.
Probably see them Tuesday.
Yeah, I probably see them tomorrow on Monday. Today being the 23rd of December.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go watch them on Christmas because I ain't got nothing better to do.
Yeah, and I'll probably be seeing them tomorrow because there's not much I can do. But as of the time of this recording, we've not seen either. So.
Oh, here's something I found out. If you go by actors, Aquaman and Boba Fett are siblings.
Yeah.
Their dads are both played by Tamara Morrison.
Yeah.
Ultraman. This trailer was kind of small, but it was super cool seeing because the original Ultraman would be about the age of that old guy.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. I love when they do that. There was a Kamen Rider movie that came out not too long ago, where the original Kamen Rider came out of retirement to help the new Kamen Rider, and he had like his old uniform and stuff too.
Nice.
Yeah, I love when things do that when they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the new one. Let's show the old one coming back up and using the same actor." Not enough things do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they got the same guy to do Ultraman, but at the very
it's not the same guy, but he's the same. I looked it up. It's not
character.
The same guy,
yeah,
but it's the same character.
Yeah.
And he's like about the age he'd be.
Right.
So that's super cool.
Well, the good thing about Ultraman is if you were a kaiju fan, admittedly he wasn't a kaiju, but he fought kaiju all the time. So this was a kaiju television show. This was your thing.
I love that whole. Speaking of kaiju, we've got a bunch of Godzilla 2 stuff got dropped on us.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah, they got Gamera, Mothra, and of course Godzilla.
No, there's no Gamera. Gamera, they have a Rodan. Gamera is...
That's right.
Gamera is different.
Yeah, that's right. Rodan.
Gamera, I think, is the giant tortoise. Yeah, Gamera is the tortoise, and it's not a Godzilla monster. It's from the rival company.
I know, but I'm waiting for that.
He's the friend of all children, Dean.
I mean... and Mothra's Defender of the Earth, so I'm waiting for that team-up movie, just saying. One of these days...
Gamera, Mothra team up?
That's right.
Defender of the Earth and friend of all children?
That's right. I'll get them working together.
Everything looks super fucking cool on here. I'm so glad that Ghidorah has the proper roar, the weird chirp, because you hear him roar for a second, and it's the chirp.
Right. It's not the, like... It's not a roar, it's a chirp, and like what he had in the original, like, 70s Japanese movies.
Yeah. If you've ever listened to a good Ghidorah, just look it up, and it's like a...
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked for this. I want more trailers. I liked the first one a lot, but apparently a lot of people didn't. I did, but apparently a lot of people didn't.
I'm with those people. And
It was a perfectly fine Godzilla movie.
we've talked about this. I don't think either of us gonna budge on it because, truth be told, I thought it was a shitty Godzilla movie, but you enjoyed it, and that's important. That's good enough for you. That's fine. I didn't like it because it was like not nearly enough Godzilla, not nearly enough.
Well, don't you see? So this is what it's looking like. That first Godzilla movie is playing homage to the first. So Godzilla 2014 is playing homage to Godzilla, or Gojira, which barely had Godzilla. Like the first two Godzilla movies barely had Godzilla in them. Like maybe a couple minutes at most. The
Right.
second one looks like it's going to play homage to later Godzilla movies where it's just all-out monster fighting.
No, and that's what I wanted. This entire time was all-out monster fighting.
You got to get the proper setup. So you got to start slow with barely Godzilla and then go for all-out monster fighting.
And then we wait for that Godzilla Ultraman team up.
Well, no, the next one's going to be the one where he does a flying kick into the bad guy.
Or intensifies his flames so hard he can fly. Don't forget about that one.
Oh, yeah. So moving on a little bit, we've got an Avengers 4 trailer.
Yep. And I like how somber but yet lighthearted it is.
Yeah.
It starts off real somber, and then we come across Scott Lang, and it was like, "Hey, it's me, Scott. You know Ant-Man?" Which he was on the. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was like one scene, like half a second, where it said "missing person." And,
Oh, yeah. Peter was on there. So was Black Panther's sister.
yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Neither do I.
But also, fans are theorying that Hawkeye's family's dead. Which would be the reason why he's Ronin and going around being Ronin. Which, by the way, I fucking love Ronin.
Right. Well, it makes sense. Half the universe got killed, so his family could have been the ones who died.
Right?
I just want to know what happened, what he was doing in Infinity War.
Probably being with his family, but I would like to, hopefully they'll fill that in. But it's just the first trailer. People are just trying to get together. Iron Man is kind of stuck out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. Also, my friend pointed something out, and I had to say that's a good point. At one point in the trailer, he says, "I've been out of water for 3 days." It's like, yeah, hold up. The human body can't go 3 days without water.
That's actually how long it can go.
Yeah.
That is the so he's gonna die. He'll probably start dying of dehydration within the next day. Your human body, it's 3 days, and then you start suffering irreversible damage after the third day, and then you don't actually die until like the fifth day or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But his kidneys are gonna get all fucked up, and his body's starting to shut down.
Yep. As it's dying away, we'll see what
'Cause
happens.
it's but yeah. Speaking of more superhero shit, we got a Captain Marvel.
We had actually talked about this. There's one scene in the last trailer where she punches an old lady, and we're like, it's probably a scroll. And we were right. It shows up in this trailer.
Scroll.
Yep.
There was something in there that I wanted to bring up, but I don't remember.
I do remember I wanted to bring up that, admittedly, because I haven't seen much in Captain Marvel in a while, but she's technically an Inhuman.
Oh, that's what we wanted to talk about. Yeah, you're talking about it because Inhumans are, well, she's technically is, but she technically isn't because the Inhumans are the children of the Kree modified humans, and so if she were to have kids, they would be Inhumans.
I mean, it's anyone who has like the Terrigen Mist or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Technically, she is an Inhuman. It's not the children of the first. It's just they've altered humans. Kind of like how X-Men are just considered mutants. It's not like, oh, they came from Apocalypse. So Apocalypse isn't a mutant. No, he is a mutant. So
he's also a deviant. So
well, yeah. But
but that's the thing. That's what I was saying. With the Inhumans, the mutants are the same way. So the first mutants are mutants, but they're also deviants. The first Inhumans are Inhumans, and then something else.
Oh, okay.
That's added to it. that the later Inhumans don't have because they're not the progenitors.
Right.
And that's that's what separates her from your standard Inhumans.
Gotcha. So far so good. That's been my thought on this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see it. I was talking with a friend, and he's like, "Oh, they're they're not shooting themselves in the foot with this. It's far enough between this one and then Avengers 4 that they know exactly what they're doing."
Yeah.
Because he's like, they're releasing them too close together. It's like, no, they're like a month apart, and there's like no other movies during that time.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. I mean, we're not getting any major movies between that time.
No.
But I'm looking forward to this. I still need to see Ant-Man and Wasp, by the way.
You should watch it.
I don't like Ant-Man, and it's not been coming to Netflix, so I guess I have to like rent it or some shit because I don't own it. I don't own it.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Like, don't get me wrong. I like Paul Rudd. I like the cast. I like Paul Rudd. I think Ant-Man is a stupid superhero, though.
Yeah. Well, going on, speaking of weird movies, apparently they're making a live action Kim Possible.
Now, I understand that people want Kim Possible to come back, but is this exactly what they wanted? Am I missing something?
I don't think this is exactly what they wanted.
This doesn't look...
Also, you know what? You know what I noticed?
Hmm.
There's no fucking Rufus in this trailer. The mole rat?
Yeah, I'm not surprised with that one, honestly. That one was the hard one.
You can't do it without the mole rat. Like, there's no mole rat. Why am I even bothering?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Some people just want that naked mole rat.
I mean, that's the best part of it. No naked mole rat, no sold. I mean, it looks like a Disney Channel movie, which it is, but I'm just surprised of, oh shit, they actually did it.
Yeah. This doesn't look good. I'm not gonna lie.
Not really.
It very much looks like a Disney original movie in the aspect that the money was not enough to make it look better.
Yeah.
Kind of low end, but I don't know. People probably still like this. There's always someone who will like something. So my judgment aside, I don't think this looks very good, but I'm sure someone else out there will like it.
Yeah. We've got the final trailer for Glass.
I'm already sold. I don't know why they keep releasing trailers.
Yeah, no more of that. So this next one, they're finally doing an Artemis Fowl movie.
No.
The thing is they hinted at an Artemis Fowl movie when the books were coming out.
Yeah.
Which they came out like over a decade ago.
I remember reading them in middle school. Why is this a thing? Why is this like, let's release an Artemis Fowl book 10 years after the popularity ended?
The Divergent series, Hunger Games, Harry Potter.
Yeah. But they waited too long to jump on the bandwagon for Artemis Fowl. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I never read the books, so I really don't know.
And my memory's a bit vague because remind you, I read this back in middle school, but the presence was along the lines of like he kidnaps a fairy. I think it has to do with like the mystical version of SWAT team trying to rescue that fairy.
Right.
I don't get why this was popular, and I don't get why they're making a movie out of it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Money? I mean, I get that part.
Money. It's money.
I figured it'd be a little bit more than just money. I mean, I figured money was
also,
part of
people
it,
who read it say, okay, look at, you said you read it in middle school?
Yeah.
Look how old you are now.
Yeah.
A lot of people our ages have kids.
I know, it's the nostalgia thing. Oh, I remember reading this when I was a kid.
And so they're going to take their kids there, and then they're going to be disappointed, and then, yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to more disappointment, the new Hellboy trailer.
I didn't hate this, weirdly enough. Although
I didn't hate it. I was just disappointed in it.
I had one big question, though, that no one ever, like, okay, so far no one seems to be addressing. Hellboy just in plain-ass view in the middle of the day walking through, like, London and shit, and no one is responding. I don't read the comic books, admittedly, but I do like the character. Ron Perlman probably played one of my favorite Hellboys just because of his voice alone. But why is no one reacting
No,
to the 8 foot
there
tall
was
Devil Man?
there was one reaction in there, and that's when the cop shot him or shot near him, and he was like, "Hey, I'm on your side."
That
But
was
yeah, no, more people should be reacting.
like literally he's like standing in front of a shop while people are walking by in the trailer. Like you know what I'm talking about, right? The shop where the bureau is based out of. And there are people just walking by in the background, no one paying attention to the 8 foot tall devil man with a giant stone arm.
Now, don't get this confused with Devilman.
You know what I mean.
I know. I'm just making a joke now. I'm just like, oh, jeez.
No one,
Which,
no one responded. That's my point. Like, I don't know the people of London. Me personally, if I saw an 8 foot tall devil man, I'd be like, "What the shit is going on?" But people are just like, walk it by. Nope, another day in London. Nothing weird here.
yeah. Also, no Abe Sapien, and that disappoints me.
Nah, it's a little disappointing.
When I miss John Hurt, the new professor guy is not as good as John Hurt was.
Yeah, I don't know. How are you feeling about? Because we've had two Hellboys now. What do you think of the current guy versus Perlman? Like, what is your thoughts so far?
I prefer Perlman.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat, at least for now. Like, until the movie comes out, I'll hold my judgment. But so far, Perlman just seems to sell it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Perlman was definitely the one. So let's move on to some TV ones. It looks like Sabrina's getting a season 2, as well as a 3 and a 4, apparently.
Yeah. Surprisingly, despite the backlash and the lawsuits and I mean, I've had some
I mean,
Wiccan
personally, I think this new Sabrina is super attractive, way more than a Melissa Joan Hart.
agreed, but I'm not going to say that out loud because she's like 18 now, 18, 19.
Oh shit, is she? She's
Yeah.
super cute.
Yeah. My Wiccan friends have not been happy about it though.
Oh no, my friend of the show, Laura, who is a Wiccan, is also not a fan of the.
The new Sabrina.
Yeah, she got really upset with it.
Well, call up to the term witch, and I think that's where it came from. But she is called the teenage witch, so you couldn't, I guess, rid of that. But I mean,
the witch thing. The whole witches worship Satan thing is what got really pissed off Laura.
right. I mean, I liked the first season, but I understand where they're coming from. They also released a one episode, by the way, just one additional episode for Christmas, I guess.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, I heard they did a Christmas with the Krampus, right?
I haven't actually seen it, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I heard the Krampus. It's the Krampus is the demon they're dealing with or something.
I've been not gonna lie. The last couple of weeks, I've been smashing down on the Arrow lately, which I found out you can do low quality if your main character does not have superpowers. So,
Oh,
well, you just have to shoot. He just shoots people with the arrows, so you can just kind of do whatever with it. It's not like the Flash. We have a low quality CG. He just gets to shoot people now. Admittedly, I'm only in the third season, so pretty easy to, not throw in powers with that type of show. But regarding the new season, I'm surprised that they got green lighted for additional seasons. I'm not gonna lie.
right.
Maybe because the anger is not as loud as other anger nowadays. Who knows?
There's this one. Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, so moving on to the next one. Watership Down looks like a mini series that BBC's doing. You had mentioned earlier off mic that you don't know what Watership Down is.
Yeah. It's a bunny movie. That's so far.
Oh, right. So, Watership Down was this animated bunny movie.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the box, it looks like it's just a cute movie about bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's a highly violent war movie.
All right.
Starring bunnies.
And James McAvoy will be taking the lead on this one.
And Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it's Watership Down's constantly on lists of like most traumatic children's movies. That one and the other one from the guy Plague Dogs, and it's basically the control for this warren by rabbits, and it's fucking brutal, and like people die on camera,
Shit, BBC.
and just the old animated one is really good. It's not very long, so if you can find it, I'd recommend watching it or just look it up.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that it's going to be as violent as the original one was.
Jeez, BBC. I get you trying to get the nihilism at them young, but this seems a bit much, don't you think?
Right? Give me one water. Watership Down. The movie. I want the film.
Oh, there's one.
1978 film.
Go ahead.
So keep talking. I'm looking up some stuff.
No, go ahead. There's something. There was one we need to add to the list of.
Oh, okay. Oh shit! John Hurt was in the original one.
Well, there you go.
Man, I miss John Hurt. John Hurt was like the main character in the original one.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's an out and out like war movie.
That's weird.
Yeah, super violent. It's basically imagine if they took Bambi, but the entire movie is them just shooting Bambi's mom, dad, friends again and again.
Ah, wow. BBC really likes to initiate that nihilism at a young age, don't they?
Yeah, my roommate just shouted it's more like Thumper murdering all his siblings, but I'm just going off one he'd know. But yeah, so
I mean, it's accurate though, I guess.
yeah, just the amount of sadness and like trauma kids are going through.
Yeah.
And the best thing is they flubbed the rating. They gave it a basically the equivalent of a G rating in the States.
Oh boy.
So people are taking their little kids to it, and it's like, Mommy, why is all the buddies dying?
Let's go. There's one more trailer. You actually put this in the news, but it would be a trailer, and
Okay.
it's for the new Men in Black movie.
Oh, did I put that in the news? My bad.
It's got I forget her last name, like Tessa Williams, I think. I'm probably.
Oh yeah, I like her.
Yeah, so do I. And
And-
Hemsworth again. They're teaming up again.
Also, I love the scene where Hemsworth throws a hammer.
Yes. I was like, wow, your reflexes are really good.
And you said Liam Neeson. You thought Liam Neeson had quit being an action movie. Men in Blacks aren't actions; they're more comedy. They're
Yeah, but
actions.
it's still technically an action movie. I mean, because it's still.
He's not.
at the
Also,
heart.
I felt
Well,
at the heart, but I think it's more of he's not going to be being the action star. He's not going to be the
ever since Hard Powder, actually, I think they changed the name of it, but it was a movie in which he was a snowplow driver who was getting revenge. Ever since that, he's like, I don't want to be in action movies anymore. And Men in Black is technically an action movie. At its heart, it's a comedy, but
yeah, I think it's not he's not breaking the rule because he's working with the comedy.
and I mean, it's based off of a admittedly rather dark comic book that was an action comic book.
Yeah. So more in Men in Black. This actually looks better than Men in Black 3.
Yes, it does.
Not
as good as 2.
No. So let's go on to some video game trailers.
Okay.
So another character in Smash that no one was expecting.
I
The first DLC character is Joka from Persona.
This is the biggest stretch of the imagination I have ever heard. It's like, oh, remember the one time in a Shin Megami Tensei way back in the Super Nintendo era? Well, that technically counts as a Nintendo game you could do in
that's
any
about
other
as
game.
much as about as much as that counted. Honestly,
Cloud.
Persona has more connection than Cloud did.
Cloud made a lot more sense though, because it was only 2 games prior they were on the Nintendo system, as opposed to
Oh no,
16
all the Shin
games
Megami
prior.
Tenseis have been on Nintendo systems, but they haven't released in the States.
Yeah, but they haven't released on the Nintendo systems in over 3 generations.
No, the Shin Megami Tenseis have, Personas have not.
It just feels like a stretch. That's all I'm saying. Also,
Give me.
as much as I like Joker, he kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the fighters.
I mean, neither did Bayonetta or Snake or
They,
Cloud.
I mean, weirdly, I think they still fit more because Joker's like, yeah, if you play the game, everyone in that game was like, a good fighter, but they were technically sneak thieves, so they were rogues, not straight up brawlers. You could probably argue Skull, because his first weapon was a metal pipe. He was just kind of an all out person, but
Yeah, no. Shin Megami Tensei 4 released on the 3DS.
Huh.
And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to be on the Switch. All the SMT games are Nintendo properties, are on the Nintendo consoles. All the Personas are on PlayStations.
Yeah, or if they do side things like Digital Devil Saga, that's also
Yeah. But they've basically been on the Super Famicom. There was one weird one which was 9, which came out on the Xbox. But Nocturne was so 9 and Nocturne were other consoles, but 4 was 3DS.
The dance games are always on the DSs too.
Yeah, Strange Journey was the DS. But yeah, they've been on Nintendo consoles. That's the connection, and I think they did Joker because he's the most recent one, and I guess they could have pulled a Fire Emblem and did like the most popular characters.
I mean,
but at this point, and I also think it was because I think these last few DLC characters are going to be a lot of characters like this, or at least assist trophies, maybe even assist trophies where these other companies are like, we want a character in Smash here.
Right. I will say this: we as a collective fan group can no longer ask the creator of the game for anything ever again. Now,
nope.
This is it. We're good. There's no more. We can. He has literally endangered his health multiple times for these games. So maybe a Kirby. We can ask him for a Kirby.
Yep. So, the next one, the new trailer from Obsidian.
Yo, Stranger Worlds. Probably got the name wrong on that one, didn't I?
Give me a second. I can pop it up.
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds, and the entire trailer is a big fuck you to Bethesda, and that makes me happy.
Now, by the way, I did listen to an interview on how they're planning to do this. It is not going to be a free roam like New Vegas was. It's going to be...
That's fine.
It's going to be kind of like sort of mission based. You remember Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Like, technically it's free roam, but it's not really free roam.
Okay.
I'm still cool with this because so far it looks good. And I like they're taking it with a sense of levity. And now the concept of them being bought by Microsoft makes a lot more sense. Why they were down for it because of this game.
But I like the couple little take that's at Bethesda, from the original creators of Fallout.
Yeah.
And you have to make a choice. You didn't have to kill them.
Yeah.
That seems to be the Bethesda does their choices is you have to kill one or the other. There's no peace version.
Yeah. Oh, I got a lot of that in Fallout 4. Shit. I mean, so far so good. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking to buy it.
I've liked everything that Obsidian's done. So yeah, no, totally.
And then we got a trailer for a new Mortal Kombat game.
It's just a teaser trailer. We get modern Scorpion fighting Dark Raiden, and then over this kick-ass rap tune, and then Raiden kills modern Scorpion, and then classic Scorpion shows up and kills Raiden.
Yep.
Raiden. Sorry, I'm Metal Gear is on the mind. Raiden.
I mean, I know they messed with time travel on the reboot. Are they doing it again? Is that what's going on? Because Raiden's evil.
Probably. And... They've. I know everyone he went evil at the end of 10.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're doing time travel again, which I'll just let them do what they want to do. These last couple Mortal Kombat games have been very good, and I'm so glad fighting games are doing story modes like this now, where it's instead of just playing through one character at a time, you actually get a story and have to like play through different characters.
Right.
Though it does make it annoying when you suck at one of the characters.
Yep.
Fuck you, Mortal Kombat 9. I suck at Liu Kang. That last fight was a bitch.
Now, when are we getting back Noob Saibot? No, I'm just kidding.
He was in the last one.
I'm just kidding. I didn't play 10. I'm mostly just joking.
He's one of my mains. Psychonauts 2.
Yes. Sorry. For those who don't know, the first Psychonauts came out in the Xbox era, like the original Xbox era, and we've not had a sequel since, but they sequel baited the end of the game. And after more than 10 years later, we're finally getting the second game. I bought it years later on Steam, but I liked it so much. Yeah, you can buy it on Steam, by the way. And there's a Steam sale going on, so buy it for cheap. But it was really fun and inventive, and I'm always a fan of Double Fine Productions, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yep. Yeah, I like the first one was a classic, and this one hopefully will at least be half as good. If it's half as good as the first one, I think it'll do well.
Well, and the interesting thing is, I am not a big platformer person because I don't have the patience that sometimes requires them, especially on ice levels. But Psychonauts got me to like not just play the game, but beat the whole game at least twice over. So I was like, well, you did a good job.
And then one last trailer.
This
Geralt definitely gets around.
Yeah. I mean,
Can we get him in a racing game now? Get Geralt in like a kart racer.
Witcher Star Racing. The Witcher Star Racing.
No. It can't be a Witcher focused racer. He has to guest star in somebody else's game. That's the way he works.
Mario Kart. I mean, that's the only racing game left. So Mario Kart.
No. They're remaking Crash Team Racing.
Oh, there you go. Or wait. Make like the PlayStation version of Smash Brothers, but in racing. So you got like Kratos and Geralt and I don't know, Spider-Man maybe.
But
go ahead.
I was gonna say, but Geralt is in Monster Hunter Worlds now, which makes about as much sense as him being in
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur. So
actually,
honestly, a little bit more sense since he hunts monsters.
Yeah, he's literally a monster hunter. And I had to say this when 3 had came out. I was like, well, I guess the voice actor for Geralt's gonna be out of work for a while, but no, they keep just getting him for more and more shit, aren't they? Geralt's gonna be in the new Cooking Mama game.
Yes. And then so I think that's it with our trailers.
Yep.
We'll get into some before we get in the news. A couple people have passed. First, I'm gonna go with Dr. Seuss's wife. She kind of I don't really know too much. Like all I know is like she kind of sold her husband's legacy.
Yeah. After his death, she would sell a lot of his stuff like Cat in a Hat and the Grinch. That's actually how we got the Jim Carrey Grinch. She sold the rights to it. I mean, that I'm not gonna lie, that's still my favorite Grinch movie. But that aside, she did die, I think, at the age of like 97.
Yeah, she lived like a good 10 years past her husband.
Yeah. And then we have
Isao Takahata, the guy who made Grave of the Fireflies, which by the way is a Studio Ghibli movie.
Yep, I still need to see it.
Oh shit, he died in 91. So almost 30 years after her husband died.
Oh, Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, he died in 91.
Yeah. So he was like he died in his 70s.
80. Actually no, he died at 87.
Oh, okay.
He was born in 1904.
Shit.
Oh, he remarried.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
His first wife died in 1967. And then his second wife, Audrey Stone Demond, who he married about a year later. Okay.
Yeah.
Audrey Geisel, died in 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So 1921, and he was 1905. He was a good 15 years older than her.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Isao Takahata, director of Grave of the Fireflies, passed at 82, and then probably the saddest one of these deaths is Steve Hillenburg died of ALS, which, by the way, is the disease that Stephen Hawking had.
Right.
Also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, died at 57.
He was the showrunner for SpongeBob in the early
He was the
days.
creator. He was
Okay.
the Matt Groening of SpongeBob.
Now, as an adult, I'm not really a SpongeBob fan anymore. I will say there was one episode I always found funny in which they're cussing and they just kind of blurt out with dolphin noises.
Yeah. So the thing with SpongeBob is particularly those first couple seasons,
Hmm.
the ones before the movie, the
Right.
Steven Hillenburg years, because he's like, the movie should end it. I'm done.
Right.
And then Nickelodeon kind of ruined things. But the first couple seasons are actually really, really good, and I'd say go back and watch them as an adult because they're really good. They're honestly they're up there as really good comedy. It wasn't the later ones were the bad ones, and people. And the thing is SpongeBob was probably the biggest cartoon phenomenon since The Simpsons,
Right.
and its 20th anniversary is next year.
Jeez, I'm old. Sorry, go on.
Right, but like, no, seriously, go back and watch like that first 2 or 3 seasons of SpongeBob. It's hilarious. Like, honestly, my favorite joke of SpongeBob of all time is, "Well, SpongeBob, here's your problem. You have it set for M for mini when it should be set for W for Wumbo." Oh, Patrick, I don't think Wumbo's a real word. Yeah, it's first grade stuff, SpongeBob. I Wumbo, you Wumbo, he, she, me, Wumbo. Wumbo, Wumboing, Wumbodge. Really, I wonder if a fall from here will kill me. But seriously though, like, I know a lot of people are like, ugh, SpongeBob. But the thing is, when SpongeBob came out, they were like young teens that hated that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And like, oh, I'm too old for this. No, go back and watch them. They're actually really good.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the news.
Before we, one more thing is like, I do wish Hillenberg's family and friends, the best of luck, because ALS sucks.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, on to some news.
We're getting more Kingsman movies.
Which
Go ahead.
I'm happy for.
So I just have questions that I brought up several episodes ago. Are we going to ignore the fact that Eggsy is now the prince of an entire country and can't really not be in the public eye anymore?
I
which is
wonder
kind of
if
the
they're
point.
doing a new character.
They kind of have to because he's the prince. So maybe
Maybe they're pulling like Men in Black International, where it's a different team.
maybe they'll bring in Tatum because they kind of like showed him at the end of the last movie. He shows up the clothing store. So maybe that'll be the situation. He'll be the new lead.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to having more of these because at the very least, the last two were pretty fun movies.
Yeah. Last one was fun. Last one wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still a fun movie.
Yeah. And introduce the world to Joel Egerton, who so far has not disappointed me. So.
Yep.
That's good.
So going on. Looks like they're working on a Blue Beetle movie.
Yes.
Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle, which I'm fine with Jamie. I like the whole thing with that alien backpack and the whole war thing that follows him. But I'm super disappointed we're not getting a bromance turned tragedy with Booster Gold and Ted Cord.
Yeah, fair enough. But honestly, Blue Beetle is like one of my favorite lesser known superheroes. It's really cool, and like people don't really know about Blue Beetle, so I'm really looking forward to this.
I like Blue Beetle. I don't know too much about the first Blue Beetle, but I like the second Blue Beetle, and I like the third Blue Beetle, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie's a great character. I love what they've done with him. He's a Latin American teenager, and he has this, like, basically take Peter Parker, but give him basically the Venom symbiote.
Yeah, but like a high-tech version of the Venom symbiote because it's like it's technology based. It's really cool.
Yeah.
The blue
And it's like a
scarab.
weapon, and like his the race that made the scarabs is like a war race, and like he basically convinces it to be a good guy.
Isn't it also technically the enemy of the Green Lanterns?
Yes, it's one of the enemies of the Green Lanterns, but yes.
Nice. Nice. I'm looking forward to
But
this, honestly.
I will say though, I will forever be disappointed that people don't get Booster Gold and Blue Beetle 2.
You know what? I will say this. If they want it, DC hit me up. I will bulk up. I will play Booster Gold. There you go.
But I love the whole Ted Cord Booster Gold thing because it starts off of them being like, those two guys, and then Blue Beetle gets shot in the head, and Booster Gold's like, I lost my best friend. And then he does a bunch of time traveling stuff to try to rescue his best friend, but keeps fucking it up or realizing that if I save my friend, things end up worse. And one of the saddest moments in comics was he went back in time, met with Blue Beetle, with Ted Cord, and he, being an adult, he looks about the same as he did when Blue Beetle died, but like this is the future one after he died. And he just started crying and hugged his friend, and he's like, "You're great, man. I love you." And then like Blue Beetle's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm just like, "Oh, Booster Gold." Like Booster Gold's an idiot. It's like, no, when he starts getting in with the Ted Cord stuff, that's when Booster Gold's good.
Oh, Ted Cord. Okay, so sorry, it took me a bit. Ted Cord is the powerless Blue Beetle, right? He was basically like Batman, sort of.
Yes, a less cool Batman.
Yeah, less cool Batman. But he was basically like a Batman, but the first one had the scarab and the current one has a scarab, but this one wasn't like worthy of the scarab, but he took the
No. But it's just like anytime like Booster Gold, like is any good Booster Gold story has to do with the Blue Beetle.
Right.
No, there's another heartwarming one where Booster Gold accepted Jamie.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, you know what? Yeah, it was like one of those things of Ted would be proud.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh,
I got this. I could do drama. Get me to play Booster Gold. Hashtag Dean for Booster Gold.
Dean for Booster Gold.
Dean for Booster Gold. Wait, I gotta do my stage name. Chris Wood for Booster Gold.
All right, so moving on. Black Panther gets nomination for Best Drama Picture.
Woo!
By the way, this is the first superhero movie to get, I want to say, a Golden Globe nomination, period.
Yeah. And it deserves it because it was a damn good movie.
It was super good.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's the second one.
What was the first?
Deadpool got into the Best Picture category at the Golden Globes in 2016.
I'm a little surprised with that one, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, honestly, I don't have much to say about this one. I'm just happy about it because it was a really good movie. So,
right?
It deserves some props.
I liked it. It was good.
Let's move on to the next one because I don't think there's much we can say on that. But we got new poster designs for the new live-action Sonic the Hedgehog, which real quick, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Unless all of it is live action and he's the only one that's CG.
I think that's what it is. I think it's everyone else is human.
That it would have to be it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go back to what I previously said. It's not live action if everything is CG.
I forgot to upload it, but I basically took the poster of him sitting in front of the
Golden Gate,
the Golden Gate Bridge, and drew where his legs would be.
Yeah.
His hips would have to be like 3 feet wide.
Yeah,
for him to be able to sit like that.
Yeah, or like the camera's at crotch level. Like, just stop, just stop, don't.
That's it. Just and they need to do, like, I know these are just posters, but this is not a very good start, and their first trailer needs to be damn good to pull back from this.
Yeah. Also, did anybody actually want a live action Sonic movie?
Nope. But we can throw it in the into the same category as the Mario movie.
Yeah. Can we not? Can we just not? Can we not all of this?
But Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman.
That is the only saving grace so far, sir. That is the only saving grace so far. Who wanted this? Like, besides money, people who want money, who wanted this?
You know who wanted this?
Was there a fan
you
demand?
realize that? Yes, actually.
Okay, not
Sonic
the furries.
has a huge fan demand from the furry community.
Not the I was talking about the non-furries, the majority of the public.
Oh no, non-furries don't care about Sonic.
Like
okay, Sonic Mania was good.
I like Sonic game. Well, excuse me, I don't like a lot of Sonic games nowadays, but I was a fan of the Sonic games back in the day. And
Sonic Mania was good, but for the most part, a majority of the Sonic fans are furries.
Can we just, like, if we would have done an animated movie, I would be okay with an animated movie. Like, that would have been fine, but no, we got this shit.
Yep. So moving on. Again, we had talked about it earlier, the Godzilla movie, the Godzilla 2. We got some posters that give us a little better look at the monsters. Their designs are cool. You know what? I really like the design of 2014 Godzilla.
Oh.
And I'm liking the designs of these ones.
I never ragged on the design of Godzilla. I was saying the movie didn't have enough Godzilla. That was my
Some
complaint.
people do. Some people don't like the design of the 2014 Godzilla, but I like how heavy set he is and how, like, big he is.
He's supposed to. Like, every movie after, I think, like, the fourth one, he was a big fella. He was not Zilla. He was not, well, basically like a T-Rex. He was an actual big creature.
Yeah.
Wide-wise. So,
and I love that they keep the whole thing of them. The whole point of the 2014 designs is they need to be, they're all CGI.
Right.
But they design them so that they can at least look like somebody's in the suit.
Yeah.
And Ghidorah, like, the Ghidorah suit is literally a guy with a long thing on his head, and he sticks his other arms up.
Yeah.
And he runs around with his arms straight up in the air. That's how the Ghidorah costume works.
That it does, years later that does explain why Ghidorah never had arms, because the dude had to, like, hold the heads up with his hands. That makes a lot of sense.
And if you watch the Ghidorah ones, that's why he uses the side heads more.
Right.
Because the top one's literally just sticking straight up off of his head.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they keep the design with King Ghidorah, which my guess here on the movie, I'm just going to go out, is Godzilla fights Mothra and Rodan in the beginning.
Yeah.
But they join forces to fight King Ghidorah.
Well, it makes sense because two of the three of them are actually, like, quote unquote good kaiju. Godzilla's kind of the immoral one in this situation,
Yeah.
But Ghidorah is literally evil. It is literally.
But at the end of the 2014 Godzilla protected people, and
that didn't make sense to me. And I've already discussed.
But that's how he always has been, though. But I get it.
Let's move on to the next one because we pretty much.
Oh, that's it. Is it Anguirus? Anguirus. People think Anguirus might be in this movie.
Oh, okay.
The one that looks like a turtle with the spikes?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because there's a blink or you miss it part in the trailer where you see his spikes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's move on to the next one. I just wanted to bring that up.
We get some of the first looks at the new live action Aladdin. By the way, this is live action, people. Disney fucking learn what live action means. Anyway.
Yep. When I first saw Will Smith, I'm like, I don't know if I like this. I feel like I should be kind of offended by this, but I don't know if I should be offended. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad he's taking it a different direction and not just copying Robin Williams.
Well, here's the first thing. They did say that, by the way, he would be blue in the movie. Like, we see Will Smith as Will Smith. My biggest complaint, because it doesn't hold over well with the way, I don't know, maybe the way I think of Will Smith, so this could be on me, but it's a little hair tuft in the back. I'd rather they just made the character bald, honestly. I really would have.
I will say at first I didn't like it, but it's grown on me, and it definitely is a thing of, you know what? I'm glad it's different, because nobody could fill in Robin Williams' shoes.
I agree with that. I would just, my biggest complaint was just that, like, that tuft of hair at the top.
I think the hair tuft is an accurate thing of the era.
It could have been, it is. Aladdin was based off of, like, 2 or 3 different novels, Arabian Nights and a bunch of
Aladdin and the cave, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a mixture of Shazira's 1001 Tales.
Yeah, and so maybe it was accurate, but I was just like, maybe because I grew up watching Will Smith movies, and you know, and I both did. The little tough thing annoyed me for some reason, so I was just like,
But yeah, oh yeah. By the way, Aladdin in the Shazira Tales didn't have the genie lamp. He had a magic ring that granted wishes. The lamp was like a different story.
yeah.
But he did go into a cave that you had to open with a secret password,
Open
and then
Sesame.
it collapsed on itself.
Yeah, it was
Open Sesame.
That's where it came from. I'm not gonna pretend like I know all the stories of the like Arabian Nights and everything.
I
I just know it was a
barely notice. I barely know anything about him as well.
I just know the Aladdin was a hodgepodge of like 3 different stories based out of Arabia.
Yeah. So moving on to some TV news. Netflix cancels Daredevil season 3. It
And-
looks like everything Netflix Marvel is getting canceled. We have Punisher season 2 and Jessica Jones season 3 left.
I'm not gonna lie. After they canceled Luke Cage, which was actually successful, I'm not surprised that they canceled Daredevil.
Though I don't have it on here,
Mhm.
Disney has turned around and has said they are talking about bringing back those shows for their streaming platform.
Good, because I'm gonna bell with names. Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, if memory recalls right. I thought he made a really good Matt Murdock. Honestly,
Oh yeah, and there's so much, and the actors and stuff are talking of like, and the writers were like, this came as a surprise to us. We had plans for like a season 4 and 5.
wow. I guess Disney just came down hard on Netflix, didn't they?
Probably. Which I'm hoping Disney will redo those shows and we can get more
Well,
Daredevil and all those guys.
I'd be okay with that Iron Fist coming back. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what I want to,
Daredevil,
Iron Fist led into something in there that I want to see what happens. But yeah, we don't need a whole Iron Fist series.
Daredevil and Luke Cage. I'd be really good if they brought that back. I still need to see the second season, but I've been kind of meandering on finishing Punisher. But I don't know. I hope they don't like permanently end that Daredevil, excuse me, because so far out of all the TV iterations of Daredevil, that has been my favorite.
Which actually would correct a thing on here I put in the news where it says Disney doesn't want to do Daredevil. They had later turned back and said they're thinking about it.
Yeah, for the Disney Plus, which
Yeah.
fuck it. I mean, if it includes all the Marvel stuff, maybe I'll go get the new Disney Plus. Shit.
Oh man, I want the whole. Would be cool if the whole Disney Vault was in there.
It's supposed to be pretty much
Like,
every
get,
Disney
like-
movie, every like TV movie.
Get
and
get all
Marvel
get the
and Star
fucking
Wars.
Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck.
I want them to bring back Gargoyles. By the way,
Gargoyles is really good.
The first season of Gargoyles was like my favorite show back in the '90s. The second season was when shit got weird.
Like the first, it's because all they went to a different studio
Yeah.
and different writers, and it's based. That last season of Gargoyles.
Mm,
Sorry, it's the third season that went weird. The first 2 seasons were good.
right.
Third season, the Goliath Chronicles, is considered no longer canon.
Good.
So if they were to redo it, it would not count the Goliath Chronicles.
I would be super happy if it because it needed a reboot. Gargoyles it ended too abruptly, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I would actually be okay with a reboot, but if they could, I want them to get what was his name? He voiced Goliath.
Keith David?
Keith David. Yes, they have to get Keith David back because his voice is iconic.
Yep. And it all like basically like half the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, weirdly enough, they got I can never remember his name, but he played
Will
Riker.
Frakes.
Yeah.
Because they had Frakes, they had Riker, they had Geordi, they had Data, they had Dr. Crusher, they had Deanna Troi.
That's the same.
The only main character who wasn't in the show
Mhm.
was Picard.
Well, no, they didn't have what's his name? The character's name was Jodie, but
Geordi LaForge?
Jodie LaForge. Yeah.
Yeah, they had Phil LaMarr was in there.
No, that's not Phil LaMarr. That's 2 different actors.
Geordi LaForge?
Yeah,
The guy with the eye visor?
Yeah, hold on, hold on.
That's not Phil Lamar.
That's not Phil Lamar. That's
LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah, no, LeVar Burton's in
Hold on,
Gargoyles.
hold on.
Oh my god, I'm getting my nerdy black guys mixed up. Yeah, no, LeVar Burton was in Gargoyles.
1 second. Actors. Okay. Keith David, of course. Sally Richardson.
He was a Nazi.
Frank Walker. Jonathan Franks. Excuse me. Let's go with IMDb. IMDb. No, not the TV movie from 1970.
He was in a single episode, Mark of the Panther, Gargoyles, as a Nazi, the Spider God.
Oh, no, dude. I was talking about, like, I want him actually in the series. Reading Rainbow Man really stuck with me as a child.
Okay. And I can't believe I got LeVar Burton and Phil Lamar mixed up. They're both black guys who are on nerdy shows.
Phil Lamar is one of my favorite voice actors, but I don't think.
But yeah, no, the only one who wasn't in of the main cast, and I'm not counting Will Wheaton, was like Patrick Stewart. Oh, you know what? Was Michael Dorn in there?
That's a good question. Let's go to Googling it. Come on, IMDb. There we go, 1994 to 1996.
No. Oh yes, he was Cold Stone and Taurus.
Here we go. All right. Wow, I forgot how big the cast list of just voice actors was for this show.
Okay, so Keith David,
Desdemona,
Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis,
Jim Belushi. No. According to IMDb, Jim Belushi was on
Fang.
Gargoyles.
Yeah, he was. He was Fang.
Fuck.
Clancy Brown. Oh shit. Liquid Snake. Cam Clark was young Gil Kirkman. Alan Cumming. Jim Cummings.
Roddy McDowell. Rick
Tim
Young.
Curry.
I'm not supposed.
Damn, this cast list is great.
Right?
John Rhys Davies.
Hey, DC, you had the comic book rights. At least bring it back as comic book. I don't know if you guys still have it, but someone bring back this series for real.
Oh, Phil Hartman, rest in peace.
Yep.
You may remember him from such shows as The Simpsons.
Yeah, if they do bring it back, they gotta get Kid David again. His voice is iconic for the character. Well, that and you know the Navy commercials. Dan
Castellaneta?
Yep. That's the 90s, man. He was working everything.
Okay, so Star Trek connection. Marina Sirtis, Deanna Troi was in there. Jonathan Frakes, William Riker, Kate Mulgrew, Catherine Janeway, Michael Dorn, Worf, Brent Spiner, Data, LeVar Burton, Geordie LaForge, Cole Meany, Miles O'Bannon, Dr. Benjamin Sisko, Avery Brooks.
Nice.
Nichelle Nichols.
So no wonder I liked the show as a child. I was watching Star Trek before I watched this show, so...
Okay, they didn't have Dr. Crusher. Dr. Crusher and Patrick Stewart weren't in there.
Right, and Will Wheaton. He wasn't in it either.
Well, he doesn't count.
He was in there for like the first few seasons.
Yeah, he was, but nobody liked him. That's fine. Sorry, Will. You're actually a very nice person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I follow you on the Facebooks. You're no longer on Twitter, from my understanding, but I follow you on the Facebooks.
And so, moving on, we have, before we go any further on this, before we become the Gargoyles podcast, so we have a poster for the new Doom Patrol, but for some reason we have Cyborg instead of Beast Boy?
Well, I have a
Cyborg was never in Doom Patrol, but Beast Boy was. Yeah,
that, and the other question is, they already have Mr. Robot, so why do they need Mr. Robot and Cyborg?
Oh, you know what, though? There's something I heard, and this may just be a rumor, but I heard it from a couple people, is that Cyborg is playing more of a liaison role and he's not like a true member of the team. He's working as a liaison, which I'm wondering if they're going to do that typical thing of, I'm here to put you guys into shape. I guess I'll stick around.
Right. My biggest question is, because it is made by these shows, the Doom Patrol and Titans, is made by Greg Berlanti. He's at least the executive producer. So, and he's like the commonality amongst all the CW DC shows. Are these part of the Arrowverse as well? That's been my question so far, and I don't know if
Maybe.
like has it been announced? I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Also, the season finale of Titans ended, and Robin
I
fights Batman.
I haven't seen anything. I need it because I'm really tempted to get the service, but I'm also like, I don't want to pay for it. But it comes with
Yeah, I'm guessing if they drop out like a free month or something, you'd probably jump on that and watch it.
in a heartbeat. I get it, but right now I'm like, I don't know if I want to get it right now. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I get to read DC comics in addition to watching the shows, but still.
but I guess trailer spoilers for Titans season finale. It's Batman's gonna be in it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Maybe we'll get Nightwing then, since
Yeah. I'm hoping. Well, apparently, Doom Patrol and Titans are in the same universe.
So
that is a fact.
Okay, yeah, I figured those two in the same universe because they've talked about, like, I think it said Doom Patrol was in like some of the members of Doom Patrol showed up in like Titans, from what I had
maybe heard. With the Arrowverse, it'd be cool if it was with the Arrowverse.
It would make a lot of sense, and I'd actually be more disappointed if it wasn't part of the Arrowverse, because that just means they're adding more heroes to the Arrowverse. Because the television DC is better than movie DC right now.
Can we talk about how hilarious it is that the CW Arrowverse is better than the movieverse?
Yeah, no, let's talk about this.
So I've heard good things about Aquaman.
I have not seen it. Admittedly,
I haven't either.
I haven't seen the new Aquaman. I talked about it in the beginning of the episode, but I haven't seen anything. I have not heard anything about it. Weirdly enough, I've also not been looking at reviews, but I've
heard from a couple people, and it's basically they've learned their lesson of not trusting Zack Snyder, and it's a ton of fun apparently.
I mean, I need to go see it. Honestly, that's what it comes down to.
I'll probably go see it too.
I mean, I feel it'd be a disservice to our delightful listeners if we didn't at least watch Aquaman.
Yeah, and Jason Momoa.
Yeah, yes, it would be a disservice to Jason Momoa, King of the Sea.
Yep. Brother of Boba Fett. All right, so moving on. They're talking about doing a live action Cowboy Bebop.
Now, I got something to say on this real quick, and because I see your notes here, it's actually contradictory to this, because Cowboy Bebop is one of the few animes you can convert to live action, because it's not fantastical like when they tried doing Bleach or Full Metal Alchemist. It's very much like if humans just started colonizing other planets. This is one of the few animes they could make it.
I just in general don't like the live action anime adaptations. Just on a principle.
I do agree, but I will say one thing is they can build into this a bit more. A lot of the anime movies, live action movies based on anime, they try and rush through like several seasons worth of story within like
and this one's a short 26 episodes, so they could probably even just do like a thing like the movie was, where it was just a standalone series.
Yeah, so they have time to build on this. It doesn't have to be hurried. That's mostly what I was saying is.
Yeah, and there's a ton of side stories you can tackle as well.
I will say this: if the music is not fantastic, that's when you will lose me, because the
music and the fight choreography.
That's what sold it for me for the original Cowboy Bebop. Was the music and the fact the fight choreography was choreographed to the music. It was, especially for the time at the 90s, like a really, really impressive thing, really technically impressive thing to see.
Yeah.
So I would be disappointed if the music even if they're not coordinated, I'd be disappointed if the music wasn't good. Because I still sometimes listen to like the theme song or a lot of the songs from that show, because it was such good music, and I like jazz and blues personally.
Yeah. Speaking of Space West, it could be good. It could also flop terribly. Yeah. We both like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
So the next one there is, it turns out Mandalorian's going to be just a straight up space western.
I'm okay with this.
I am okay with it too.
We've talked about this in previous episodes, but I think I can't. I'm not gonna speak for you, of course. I personally feel like sometimes the story of Star Wars is a more interesting aspect from the non-Force users than it is from the Force users.
I agree.
So if we're just gonna get like space cowboys, I'm down. I really am.
And if it can play up the whole, like, think of the whole Man with No Name trilogy. Play the Mandalorian like the Man with No Name. He's going around being a bounty hunter, doing things, meeting up with people. That would be a cool way to do it.
Or do it like Kung Fu, which is like a dude who travels around righting wrongs or some shit. Or what was that? It was a '90s show. No, 90s movie. The Mariachi trilogy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Big Trouble in Mexico, and the Mariachi, and like I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it was Rodriguez's movies trilogy, but I'd be down with it. I'm down with this movie or this series.
El Mariachi trilogy.
Yeah, I'm down with this movie series or this television series. Excuse me.
Robert Rodriguez's Mexico trilogy. If anybody's curious, it's El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
That's it. Yeah. It was a really great over-the-top action movie series.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next bit here.
So we already tackled this earlier. SpongeBob creator dies 1 year before 20th anniversary.
And then we got information.
So Voltron Legendary Defender ends.
Right.
The last season premiered last week. Have you watched Voltron?
No, I was never the Voltron fan growing up as a kid, so there's not.
No, here's the thing: that's better. That's better. There are nostalgia, like with these shows. You don't have to be a fan of the original, but there are little like stuff that's dropped in for the fans. So the series ends on a bit of a sad note. I cried a lot because it's like no,
right?
Because stuff happens. But at the very end, this is kind of spoilers, but it's like in credit spoilers, like stinger spoilers. I finally get my vehicle Voltron.
Nice.
Because it's not the whole Voltron, but you see a couple of the vehicles in the background of them working on them.
Nice. So maybe they'll work on like excuse me. Maybe we'll get like a sequel series coming out soon. But
they were able to cover up a lot of loose ends. It was great. People go watch Voltron. All 8 seasons are on Netflix. You don't have to wait a year for the next one like the rest of us did.
Right.
And it's really good. Just go watch it.
Yeah.
The ending's very sad. The ending will make you cry, but it's still like a happy ending, but like it's still like no.
Right.
And then I guess there's something you had posted on there. Speaking of more animated series, Warhammer 40K animated series, which honestly, thinking about it, that could work.
Yeah. That would be one of the ones you could do a lot with because it has fucking a lot of story to it. But for one, I don't know. We could get more out of this. I'm not really the Warhammer fan, but I know people are. Are you part of that Warhammer group?
I've barely played the games, but I love the whole lore and the world.
Right. Well, that's good.
There's one. Okay, as long as we have, I'm happy. You know what would need to submit this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Is I need Commissar Yarrick.
Okay.
So I've explained on here before, right, about how orcs work in 40K?
Probably, but as little as we talked about it, it's probably been like a year or so.
So as a quick refresher, all orcs are minor psychics. And their stuff works because they believe it works.
Okay.
That's why if the orcs paint stuff red, it goes faster. Orcs paint stuff purple, it's stealthy, because have you ever seen a purple orc?
Fair enough.
So, that's also the thing of, if, say, 2 humans find an orc gun, they pick it up, it's literally just a pipe glued to a stick.
Right.
And it doesn't do anything. But, if an orc sees you with that and you fire it, it'll actually fire.
Huh.
They're all like they're all minor psychics, but it's like this like high-level weird version.
Right.
So my favorite character is Commander Yarrick.
Okay.
who is the one human that orcs are afraid of.
All
Like
right.
the quote thing for him on the wiki is Humies are Humies is all weak scum that deserve to get stomped, except for one-eyed Yarrick. He knows how to fight. And basically all the orcs are terrified of him, which makes him immortal and super powerful when he fights orcs.
All right then.
Which in the game, his character has a thing of he can't die if you're fighting orcs, if there's orcs on the table.
All right.
Because the orcs are convinced he's like this immortal superhuman Superman that they're terrified of. And like his he has an orc claw that they have that he basically killed an orc like leader, and that's how he got to the point he's at. But because of the way orcs work, he's become like even more powerful. So he's like one arm, one eye, but like arm has like one of those like giant orc claws, power claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Yarrick is amazing.
Right.
And it's hilarious because it's like orcs are just like they're afraid of him. So orcs with universal rerolls ones to hit for all squads and 6. So orcs can't hit near him. Yeah, it's just great. Orc. So yeah, I want like I would like this series to be like if we can do it like an anthology, that'd be cool, and I would totally kill for a Yarrick series. Command retirement to kick the teeth out of Gazkil Mag Uruk Thrakas Wog. Gazkil thinks he's the bestest Humi ever. He also has a laser eye, a la Superman, and an Xbox huge power claw.
Huh. Nice.
Are we going to talk about the way he wields a storm bolter one-handed when the only ones who can do that are superhumans clad in Terminator armor? I'm reading the 1d4 Chan thing. This is the comedic version of Commissar Yarrick. It's like, no, why? Because Xbox huge power claw. That's why. I can get into this for a while. We're gonna become the god. Sorry, guys. Welcome to the Godzilla Gargoyles and podcast. I'm Brian. Moving on. Before we go any further on that, look up Commissar Yarrick. Just everybody, Commissar Yarrick. Look him up. Him along with Commissar. Who is it? Dean. Kane. Kane is the other really big one, and Kane's the one that has all the books written after him. But right. Kane is hilarious because he's a coward who just lucks out.
Ah, gotcha.
All right, so moving on to some bit more news. We still got a bit.
Funimation is.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot that Firefly's director also did Only Yesterday, and I highly recommend that one. That one's very sweet and
yeah,
it's a good slice of life one. But Funimation is on Hulu,
which makes their previous withdrawal from Crunchyroll make a lot more sense.
And it also makes me take the statement of the Funimation being like, Netflix is ruining anime, and I'm like, I can't take you seriously because you're in bed with Hulu.
Yeah.
He makes some good points, but because they just sort of drop it in without like announcing it.
What you mean, like Netflix does?
Netflix just drops it in, but doesn't tell anybody.
I mean, they do a pretty bad job of not updating all the time, but I would say like it's not really killing anime. That's how I watch some of these series. Like I don't watch.
Yeah.
That's how I found about Seven Deadly Sins, and that's why I'm still watching it.
It makes sense, though, of why they left Crunchyroll and why he said those things about Netflix. And it's like, oh, okay, you're with Hulu.
Yeah. We get what you're doing, dude.
I see. And then also, I'm glad I don't have to pay for another service.
Yeah. Because
I can just keep using Hulu.
We're still not going to play for Funimation.
It's part of the reason I have Verve. I'm not going to pay for another service. Verve was supposed to have both.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, it makes their previous the previous shit that they've been doing make a lot more sense. I don't really agree with it because I still like to go for an all-in-one place, but I guess in this case it makes sense because Hulu kind of is an all-in-one place.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I finally broke down and watched about a season and a half of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
What do you think?
Yeah, okay, it's funny.
Yeah, right? It's a good show.
Like, I'm not a Sandberg fan, and that's the reason why I never watched it. Andy Sandberg just annoys me in most things he does. But this was actually a pretty good series.
It's hilarious, and it's like, I'm so glad NBC picked them back up.
Yeah. I still need to get through the rest of the seasons, but so far what I've seen I've really liked, so I'm down with it. And I'm not gonna lie, my favorite character is Chief Hoyt. That was my
Hoyt. Chief Holt is amazing.
His deadpan delivery for shit is my favorite. I like that. I was like,
no,
Chief, you look great. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? My hair's a mess. I love that line.
So my favorite things is later on, Holt gets in on the goofing around, but he keeps the deadpan.
Yes.
So he continues with the goofing around with everybody, but he's still deadpan. It's the best because they think they're going to be in trouble for a second, and then he joins them. Terry Crews is great. Stephanie Beatrice is great. Like everyone, it's a great series.
I don't remember every character's name, but Rosa is also one of my favorite characters. By the way,
that's Stephanie Beatrice.
There you go. She's one of my favorite characters. Like it literally. I don't know how Sandberg wormed his way into it, but he literally goes Hoyt, then Cruz, then Rosa, then Sandberg.
Yeah, Rosa, played by also a good bit of bisexual representation in TV.
Oh, is that
her character comes out as bi later, and the actress is bi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and there's a scene if you get to it later where you find out she acts differently around different people, and there's like a very like happy, friendly Rosa, which is actually closer to how the actress actually is.
Something about what you just said sounds wrong. I really it's a little bit about
that's the reaction of the characters too. They're like, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. Blade Runner anime being done by Black Lotus on Adult Swim and Crunchyroll.
I mean, I'm down for it. Admittedly, I have not seen either Blade Runner. I know a lot about the first Blade Runner because people quote the shit out of it.
I love the whole soliloquy of Tears in the Rain. It is one of my favorite speeches in movies, period.
The ending soliloquy I get what you're saying.
Like, I've seen things. Like tears. Time to die.
I'm in favor of this. I'd be down. I had to watch both Blade Runners before I get into it, but I mean, I'd be down.
Yeah, and I feel the world would work for anime. I feel anime would be a good way to cover this world.
Yeah. Speaking of anime,
get in the fucking robot, Shinji.
Yeah, seriously. The ever-depressing series of
I've been meaning to rewatch it because I did not like Neon Gen. I got distracted by Blue Planet Tubes, but I'm gonna try to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion again because when it first came out, I didn't like it.
Well, it ended in a very, very depressing note. I got to the point where I couldn't watch it anymore. Look, don't get me wrong. For the first half of it, it's a pretty good anime. And then I got to the point where I was like, just please die, everyone. I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, really? I couldn't get into it at all. Like, I didn't finish it.
Admittedly, it was one of my first, and I say mech, it's not technically a mech because they're living aliens that they control.
Technically, it's about as mech as Gundam is a mech, because, guys, Gundam isn't a mech anime, it's a political anime.
Well, see, the Evangelion, admittedly, it's been like 10 years since I watched the series, so, fuck me if I'm wrong. But Evangelion they weren't technically mechs, they were clones of an alien. Wasn't
Shinji's mom inside his?
Yes, which is fucked up.
And looks like we're getting an Agretsuko. So moving on to more Netflix stuff, we're getting an Agretsuko season 2 and a Christmas special.
I'm cool with this because the first season was great.
It was.
I binge watched the first season and I loved it.
Yep, it's that right amount of adorable, but you could super relate to it as a distraught 20, 30-year-old.
Yeah.
Who hates their life and their job. Like it sits. It's like it's the best way I can describe it is you know how Hello Kitty's aimed for little kids.
Right.
This is aimed at our demographic.
Yeah, the millennials ages 20 to 35 or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was I was totally down for this. I was like, this is both cute and also I know exactly how you feel.
Yep.
um
Oh, so we're getting a new Dragon Age. So moving on to some video game news. Sorry,
Video
guys, I'm
games.
trying to rush through this. We still got a little bit more. And it's
Yeah.
been it's been a couple weeks. I'm sure you guys will be like, "Hey, they put out a new episode. Awesome! Wow, it's like 5 hours long."
Yeah.
So new Dragon Age. I'm hoping they don't pull an Andromeda.
It's predicted we're going to get one within the next 3 years, which is good because if you played the DLC for the last Dragon Age, they kind of left it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I do hope they don't go drama about this. I mean, I get that they were trying, out a new engine, but the engine that they were using is usually used for like first-person shooter games. Like I think Dice uses it for what's it called? Battlefield. I think is what they work on.
Yep.
It's not really meant for like the free roaming kind of stuff, like what the Mass Effect was. So I'm hoping for the best. This is my optimism.
Hopefully.
My optimism is kicking in because Dragon Age is still one of my favorite series right now.
Yeah. Moving on. Speaking of more stuff, Anthem, Destiny 5, Anthem, whatever you want to call it, another Destiny clone, loot shooter clone. It's a loot shooter.
Right. Kind of like Warframe.
Has
which I'm gonna get back into.
they're doing alpha signups in December. I think they're still going on.
I might sign up for this. I used to be a beta tester for a few games, so maybe give this.
I've done a few beta tests.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge it till I actually get my hands on it.
It looks too much like Destiny, and I didn't like Destiny.
I never played Destiny, but I'm also not a first-person shooter.
I have friends who love Destiny. See, I like first-person shooters, and I have friends who are obsessed with Destiny, and they're like, it's great, it's great. And I'm like, this game sucks.
Yeah.
And the only time I had any fun was Destiny's PvP arena is fine because it plays like Halo.
Right.
But that's the only thing I like. It's like these missions, the MMO part of it just did not attract me at all.
Right. I don't know. I kind of fallen out of
yeah.
favor with Bungie over the years because they just keep releasing the same shit, in my opinion. Destiny is just
they do.
It's just like, oh, look, we've added an RPG element to Halo. Anyway.
Speaking of things that people don't really want, Elder Scrolls Blades, which I had to look it up. It's the mobile Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, it's the mobile Elder Scrolls. Mostly, they're just trying to tide people over until the new Elder Scrolls game, and that's
why don't they just release Skyrim another 12 times?
Well, we still don't have Skyrim for the spoon. Skyrim for gloves. Did you get? Well, no, excuse me. I had the fingerless glove version. Did you get that version, Brian?
Oh no, I have the mittens version.
The mittens version. Yeah. I don't know. I guess. How about this? Given that how long you guys have done this, you're trying to keep us interested. Want to add some major DLC to the Skyrim? I guess.
Yeah.
Keep people
and
interested.
Not like actual DLC. Not. Oh, did I put that on there?
I don't know.
I don't see it. So I'm gonna bring it up now. They've put out trailers for the new Civ 6 DLC.
Yeah, I think we did cover that like 2 episodes ago. The one that brings an actual like global warming as an.
Oh yeah, but they've released a couple of the cultures, and Incas look really good. Canada looks really good.
Nice.
And the Maori, I think it's the Maori. The Maori look really good.
Oh,
like they all look really good so far.
The
Incas are designed to be So Canada is very peaceful and does culture stuff. Incas are very isolationist.
Right.
They get bonuses for trading within. Moving on.
Okay. No,
oh yes, this one.
I've been following this, so let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to take over what's been going on in regards to this, because I've been following this as a Fallout 76 user. So
okay. I'll let you handle it.
So I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, we're not the only ones who covered it, but for those who are not paying attention to this, for the pre-order of Fallout 76, there was this Power Armor Edition, which included a replica of the T50 helmet, I think it was. No, it was the T51B, I think is what it was. And included a bunch of other stuff, including what showed in the image as a Kevlar bag. But
Not Kevlar, canvas.
Canvas, thank you.
Canvas.
I missed the two, mixed the two up. But
can I say before you? I don't know if you're gonna say this now, but I want to say one thing on there. There's two things they fucked up with this. One, the article did not say, did not have the thing of products subject to change.
Yeah,
that was nowhere in sight.
Well, what they gave the people who had ordered it was like a plastic like substance. It wasn't canvas, which people were flipping out about it, which is a little understandable. I think where the majority of the anger came from is they found out that at the events in the hotel, which I can never remember the name of the damn hotel, but it's the one that they show in the trailers and you can go to in the game and so on and so forth. They actually gave away the canvas bags to like reporters.
So I do want to say something about that. That's a different canvas bag. It's a different design, but they were still giving out a canvas bag to people, and they could have saved their asses by putting in content subject to change in the fine print, which they did not.
Well, it gets worse. They've been fucking everything. And I'm gonna say that, like, he is laughing. I'm actually a Bethesda fan, so I'm a little disappointed in them.
But I liked Bethesda, but then they started ruining Fallout, and it just kind of... I don't know.
I have a problem with them ruining Fallout canon. Like, I like the Fallout games, but this last game has been, like, stamping over even their own canon, so I'm getting annoyed by it.
But the way Bethesda's been doing things has left a serious bad taste in my mouth. And after finding out how they fucked over Obsidian, I'm just... Fuck their company.
For 76, there's more to it, though. There's a whole, like, web, but... After people complained about the fact it was not a canvas bag but a plastic bag, they said we'll give you 500 atoms, which is the game's in-game currency to buy DLC, which you can earn in-game, by the way. You don't just have to pay for it. But 500 atoms got you a whole lot of nothing. It got you like a door and a plant. It wasn't really worth it. So there's more. As an apology, they have released, and there's a whole lot more to this, so I'm gonna cut out the fat on this one, but they recently announced today that they'll be giving you Classic Edition for the console and PC players. Here's the thing, though. The Classic Edition included Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics, which the part that annoys me is I paid the game full price at $60, which included those games, and so far I'm getting a whole lot of nothing.
Oh, are you going to bring up the worst thing that happened?
There's a lot of worse things that's happening here.
Oh, no, the one that's actually could get them actually sued, and the thing where they released everybody's personal information.
Yeah. So
that's the big one that you need to bring up.
They released phone numbers, emails of a lot of people.
Credit card numbers.
Yeah, people who had...
So people who went in to get their free thing as like the apology item, when you went in there and filled out the information... It brought up it only was for like a day or two, but that's long enough in internet talk. It brought up basically the Excel sheet with everybody's personal information on it.
Now, this makes me glad that I didn't actually go for it. I'm not gonna lie, but they've been fucking this up pretty bad, and I am actually a fan of Bethesda. I have liked so far, with the exception of Morrowind. I've liked the last 2 Elder Scrolls games. I've liked the last 3 Fallout games. Fallout 4 could have had some work, definitely, but the engine, everything they made for that game was pretty good, so I kind of let it go. But 76, everything regarding 76 has been just one giant fuck up.
Yeah, and you know what? Bethesda, this is a side note. Bethesda, that engine you have is fine. It worked for a while. But please, work on a new engine.
Well, the biggest problem is that their engine works okay for single player, but it doesn't work great for multiplayer, but they're still refusing to not go with a different engine. I think what they need to do is go Final Fantasy 14, I think it was the route, and just shut down the servers for a few months, start from the ground up, fix their shit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the complaints initially started with just like a very buggy and unfinished game. But I was like, you know what you need to do? Take it off for a month, fix everything, actually go over your data and some of the quality of life shit. Like it took like 3 months to get an FOV slider for
Yes.
and then push to talk. I'm not gonna lie to you. I played the game with my mic, my podcast mic, like what I'm using now, and I wasn't talking to my friends in game through their system. I was talking to them through like Discord or Skype. So people were hearing half of a conversation, and I came across other people doing the same thing.
That's yeah, no, put push to talk in. No, just in general, I want them to read because honestly, they've been using the same engine since Morrowind. They've just been updating it, and at the point it's starting to show its age, and they really just need to rebuild it ground up.
At the very least, stick to it just for single players. Don't touch it for multiplayer. Multiplayer, it's not this system. This engine is not meant for multiplayer. And it's already been proven by the fact that your game crashes if someone uses a few exploits. I'm not going to say because I can get banned.
Yeah.
So just fix your shit, guys. I'm not saying start a whole new engine. At the very least, fix the bugs. And if someone's going to pay $200 for a fucking canvas bag, give them their damn
Give them the canvas bag. Canvas isn't an expensive material, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Let's move on. Because I think we've covered the majority of the controversy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we got this new bit where the new PlayStation Classic...
more fuck-ups! Yes,
Yeah.
So, by the way, guys, most of this next news thing is going to be a lot of fuck-ups.
Yep.
So, PlayStation Classic. They used the... Apparently, most of the games run slower than emulators.
Yeah.
They use the PAL version, which runs at a slower frame per second for a number of games, which happened for a couple games that should be probably like racing games and fighting games. That's a big factor.
Oh,
and guess what? The fighting games are using the PAL version.
Oh, real quick, for those who may not know, the PAL version is everything not the US or Japan version.
Yep. And it runs at a slower frame rate, which frame rate is very important on racing games and fighting games. So they did the PAL version of Tekken 3, as well as I want to say Ridge Racer and a couple other games. All the games are buggy. They're slow. It's big...
It's another fuck up.
Yeah. It's a huge fuck up.
For the next news story, by the way, if you don't mind, I know a little bit more on this one because I was following it for a bit. But go on with what you're saying.
But yeah, yeah.
Way to go, Sony. I mean, it's not like you could have just made a computer based on the specs from a 2005 XP, but, whatever.
People have made Raspberry Pi emulators that worked better.
Yeah. Then the next one here. So let me explain the background on this one before we get into it.
Okay.
So a few months ago, I want to say back in October, the director of GOG, which is a gaming platform for those who may not know, for PC, posted some transphobic tweets.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people, including one of the groups that I follow for Dead Gentlemen, actually no, they're called Zombie Orpheus. I always screw up the name. Anyway, pulled a lot of their content because of the transphobic tweets. They later apologized for it, but in my opinion, they kind of fucked up because they waited 2 months to fire the guy. That's the news what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
They fired their community manager for their Twitter. The other part that gets to me is that GOG apparently is also a CD Projekt Red, who is handling Cyberpunk 2077, a game I am really looking forward to. And now I'm just kind of like, I mean, they fired him, but they waited a bit long. So, personally, on a moral standpoint, can I buy this game and be okay with it? Or, because they did fire him.
That's how I feel about...
They did fire him, but they took what I felt like was a little bit too long.
There's a couple games like that where it's like, I'm just not going to buy it because of things, and like, I don't know.
Like, I really wanted to get 2077. It looked like a really good game, and I want to support any game that's based off of a tabletop series because tabletop RPGs need to get a little bit more limelight, in my opinion. That aside, I don't know if I could support a game that has had transphobic... The company has done the transphobic tweets, And while they rectified it, they took like a month or two to fire the guy. In my opinion, the person who made that would have been fired the next day at the very latest.
Yeah,
At the very
I don't know.
latest.
Especially with how fast some of these companies fired, like how like fast from. Well, it's the thing of like the company who makes Guild Wars fired their person like really fast for other stuff, that lesser stuff. I don't. Right now, let's just play it by ear. I
Yeah.
want to see what happens, but currently, yeah, no, it's sad. I don't know.
This thing though, I saw we talked about it a few episodes ago, but they did like a 40-minute gameplay trailer, excuse me, of Cyberpunk 2077, and it looks really good. I really am looking
Yeah,
forward to this. And then I was just like, but can I morally play this game after that? And
yeah.
I might have been okay with it if they had rectified it within like a week at the latest. But this whole thing started back in like October, I think. So they waited too long.
I agree. They did wait too long. So I don't want to say boycott it yet, but I would say don't buy it opening day. Let them stew in it. But it just looks so good.
It does. It really does.
Also, you know what? I do have to say, this is the higher ups of CG of GOG and CD Projekt Red. Maybe stop buying stuff from Good Old Games, and because at least support the developers and the people who put their hardworking hours into it. Don't punish them. But if we want to punish Good Old Games, buy it on another platform. Don't buy it through Good Old Games.
I mean, we're getting a shit ton of them now. You can go to Steam, Bethesda is starting one. They want to add some of their own non-Bethesda games on there. There's Origin. I don't like supporting EA personally, but that aside, that's another option.
Yeah.
There's a bunch. So support the game developers, but I'm not going to tell people how to live their moral.
Support the people who put their blood into it, but don't support the company.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Speaking of EA,
yeah.
Battlefield 5 has their latest DLC is super anti-Nazi.
Good.
Yep.
That's just good. That's all I have to say about that. Fuck Nazis.
I'm not going to get into the plot of it, but yeah, it's called The Last Tiger, and you do play as a Tiger Team commander, and the whole story of it is we're on the wrong side.
Good.
Yep.
Let's move
Yakuza
on.
creator Judgment casts English voice actors. So there's a new game from the Yakuza creators, and they're actually going to have an English voice cast.
Which is good, because I think they've only had it 2 other times they've had a voice cast. Otherwise, it was just in Japanese. Admittedly, I haven't followed the series since the first one, and then I bought Zero.
It's one of them is last month was free on PSN.
Oh, nice. I own Zero, which is the prequel to 1, but I don't know. It's cool that they finally have an English voice actors. I generally still use the Japanese with subtitles, but that's because that's also how I watch my anime. So
I do dubbed with subtitles, but that's because I'm usually working on other stuff when I have it, and I have it more on in the background.
Yeah,
and I can't pay full attention to it to not have English.
Well, I will do English dubs if either I'm feeling lazy, which generally does not happen often, or if I am like you doing something else. I just want to know what's going on in the thing that I'm technically watching. But if I'm actually going to sit there and watch it and absorb what I'm watching it, I prefer the subtitles with original voice acting.
People are way overthinking that. Sorry, I was reading a response to something I'd responded to on the Facebooks of somebody asked, why do flying types are super effective against grass? And I'm everybody's overthinking it. I'm it's because birds eat grass seeds.
Yeah.
That's the entire reason. And I guess wind can knock over trees, but people are overthinking it's because in anime wind can cut grass. I'm no, you're overthinking this.
Well,
This is a series with the whole reason of fighting type is strong against flying is strong against fighting. Because have you ever tried to punch a bird?
and yeah, no, that's true. And fighting strong against rock because punch rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're overthinking that. But let's move on to the next bit here. Epic. This is, speaking of which, we actually talked about this a few minutes ago. But Epic, who is the creators of Fortnite.
Oh shit! I forgot to add that. There's more fuck ups. Let's cover this, and we'll cover their fuck ups of how they're getting sued by everyone.
Yep. So Epic is planning to sell games on their own platform. On a side note, I forgot to add this to this, by the way. Discord is also doing this.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It popped up when I installed it today, which yeah, it's fine. But I'm looking at the thing for Fortnite of, oh my god, they're gonna they're either gonna have like kids are gonna steal their mom's credit cards, or as soon as those kids get like a job, they're gonna put all their money into it.
Now, I have a small story to tell for that one, just something coincidental. Now, for NDA reasons, I can't tell you who I work for, but let's say I work in banking products. And the other day, somebody wanted to unlock their card, which was a credit card, to spend $1,000 on Fortnite. And
holy crap!
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
$1,000 on a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Did you tell them no?
I wish I could. I'd be like, for your financial security, I'm gonna say no.
So they're doing another Far Cry mid-sequel, like the Blood Dragon or whatever game it was, of the new Dawn Far Cry, which basically is like the Blood Dragon one, where it's like a smaller version of the game that's cheaper.
Yep. This one's post-apocalyptic.
Yep. Which is cool. Far Cry's a fun game.
Yeah. Now, is there time travel involved? Sorry. That's gonna be like, I have worked 4 years in customer service. That's gonna be the story that stands out the most. I don't know. This DLC looks good. So far, I will get it if I can.
Yeah.
And let's see. Then, did we get like the full soundtrack of every song in Super Smash Brothers?
Yes, I want the soundtrack because it'd be like 20 discs.
Yeah, it would be. Good.
Yeah. And then Soldier Boy is selling a console, which, by the way, you can find this console on Amazon for half the price, and it's just like a emulator console that barely works.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. He's not just selling a console; he's selling a handheld as well, which it looks to be a knockoff of the Chinese console back when they had a ban on every console in China. So yeah, I guess Soulja Boy, who is he relevant? I'm not in the rap group anymore. Is he still relevant?
No, he isn't.
Okay. So this is a thing, I guess. Yeah. Then we got here a Metal Gear Solid board game.
Yeah. It's super cool from IDW. It looks pretty fucking intense, and I know they were joking about the companion book that's like super thick, but like I would totally go for all the jargon.
Well, I mean, Brian, to play this game, you have to get the rule book that releases after this game comes out, but it's a prequel to the book that explains how to play some of the parts of the game that were not previously mentioned. But you won't understand the new rules until the new sequel that comes out 10 years later.
Well, once you're done, everything will be explained to you, the person who just played through all of them, but you still won't be able to explain the rules to other people.
That's right. It makes sense to you, but you can't tell others how to do it because even you don't entirely understand how it does work.
Yep, because I tried to explaining the plot of Metal Gear to a friend the other day, and it's just like, he's like, this makes no sense. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it doesn't. It totally makes sense if you've played it,
Yeah.
But if you haven't, it's like it's up there with Kingdom Hearts of games of like I don't understand.
The differences, though, is that they've had more time to build up on their try and make sense of its storyline. Um, because that game's been around since like the 80s, right?
Yeah, the original Metal Gear came
Yeah.
out in the 80s
Yeah.
on the MSX. And Metal Gear Solid's 20 years old now.
Oh Christ, we're getting old, Brian.
I know we are.
So moving on. So we're getting the second Handmaid's Tale book, which is good because, as my friend Emily has pointed out, the original book ends on a cliffhanger.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but she decided to go ahead and read it because, as weird as my job is, there are some books you can read. Like I can go read the what was the name of it? It's a really well written, well received book. They made a movie about it a few years ago. The Great Gatsby. I can go read The Great Gatsby, The Handmaid's Tale. I can read Lovecraft novels if I wanted to.
Nice.
Which is a weird thing to have at your work, by the way.
Aww.
Yeah. That aside, they're working on a second Handmaid's Tale book. She finally, after like almost 30 years. Actually, I think it's been 30 years now. We're close to it. She's finally working on a second book.
I mean, that's cool. Like, the honestly, I don't think I can like I've tried. I don't think I can watch the series because I can totally see Mike Pence trying to pull this on our actual country.
Yeah, I can.
And
too.
it makes me angry. It makes me sad, and I don't think I can watch it.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'd be angry and then feel that sense of guilt as being, the hetero white male. And just like,
Yeah,
I was like,
I
yeah,
getcha.
shit sucks, and we're kind of the reason for it. But yeah, so we're getting a sequel book for Handmaid's Tale, which is good because they ended. For what she had told me, it ends on a cliffhanger. The original book came out in the
okay.
80s.
But that's cool. Look forward to that in I'm guessing next year.
Let's see. CNN.com. Is there a release date? What's that? Okay, the sequel is going to take place 15 years after the original book. The novel titled The Testants will come out next September. So yeah, September 2017. 2019.
Cool.
2019, Jesus Christ.
So I guess we're almost done here, folks. One more thing. A bunch of things are being put into the public domain
Finally.
on January 1st, including stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. Can I mention I hate Robert Frost?
I have an utter
His works are so they're so pretentious, and people write about him like, oh, it's so thoughtful. Two paths diverge. My ass.
Well, okay, I will say this. When it comes to poetry, I am not the person to talk to because I'm not what you would consider, what I consider poetic. So I have an utter indifference towards
either.
Frost.
I just get super annoyed because all Robert Frost stuffs are those people that have like live, laugh, love on their wall. That's the kind of people who quote Robert Frost.
Right.
And it's just like, I fucking hate Robert Frost. I hate Robert Frost fans. I hate Robert Frost.
I am glad, though, that we're going to let stuff in the public domain because it really hurts creativity whenever we can't do it, when everything
So
is,
looking at here of the list, picture of Dorian Gray is finally in public domain.
Nice.
Winston Churchill's The World Crisis. Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments, which, by the way, was probably there's still parts of that it was basically the biggest movie of all time.
Well, wait, are we talking about the silent film or are we talking about the film?
Yes, the original Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments, the one that broke Hollywood.
Okay, not the what's his face, the gunright dude from the take it from my cold head
Charlton Heston.
Yeah, not the Charlton Heston one, but the original one that he did for Ten Commandments.
The 1923 Cecil B. DeMille's filming. A lot of the stuff is still out there.
Right.
And they basically they built everything out there, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's what we
That
need:
one's in public domain.
we need a funkadelic version of that story now. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, and my personal favorite out of all these, yes, we have no bananas. Yes, we have no bananas is public domain. And if you've never heard that song, it's hilarious. Go listen to it.
nice.
Yes, we have no bananas.
Now there is one last bit of news. Don't worry, guys. We're almost done.
Oh, yes, more fuck ups and shit in the bed with Tumblr.
Okay. So for this one, we have a Tumblr that we're never on, and
Which we probably will never be on.
now I'm not okay. I try not to speak on behalf of LGBTQ because I'm not. I have listened to what other people. Yeah, you are. So of course you can speak your opinion. What I'm gonna be saying here is what I have heard from other people who are LGBTQ. I will of course be paraphrasing because I word for word is not my thing. But it's really hurting the adult community because they're going to be censoring a bunch of the adult content, which up till previously said they were not going to do. And this is really hurting like people who generally up until Tumblr didn't feel like they have a space to put their ideas.
I'm gonna cut to the point.
Okay.
So Tumblr, in response to a couple bills that popped up, I don't know the actual names, but a couple bills, among other sites, is basically decided and problems with bots. So instead of actually tackling the bots and doing things properly, they decided to wipe basically all NFSW stuff from their website.
Yeah.
They were using bots to target it. The thing is it was targeting a lot of LGBTQ stuff. Perfectly fine. No, Patreon fucking did this too, by the way. Of basically saying, "Oh, you're LGBTQ, you're adults only."
Right.
And so Tumblr decided to go, basically started tagging a bunch of like queer sites as not safe for work. Even if there's no nudity, there's no anything on there, they got automatically checked as not safe for work. Most of them were able to get it back real quick by going, "Hey, what the fuck?" But that, and then on top of that, losing the not safe for work stuff, which it's already gone. It disappeared on last weekend. Mm-hmm. A lot of people used Tumblr as a basis for their living. So a lot of people who did like cam stuff, sex stuff, not like I'm paying not prostitution, but like cam stuff like that, use Tumblr as a basis point for their stuff, and that fucked them over, so they lost their way of living. And the best part is the page that's supposed to tell you what's that Tumblr put out themselves of here's stuff that's safe got tagged as not safe.
Nah.
So Tumblr basically killed themselves and will probably not last very long. Because, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have some knowledge in regards to the law you're referring to. It was something. It was not surprised by anybody. It was a Trump era law that was put into place that was quote unquote meant to protect sex workers.
It does not. It does the exact opposite.
Well, sex workers say it does the opposite. Previous to this, what it was is that websites, even in advertisement, even if they don't control the advertisement through Google advertisement as an example, if anything adult is mentioned, anything that may be like prostitution, then the website will receive a heavy fine. So a lot of sites, including like Tumblr, Facebook, Reddit, I think Reddit's so far untouched, but every other has reacted to it because in the beginning of this year, 2019, that's coming up, that's when it goes into effect.
Facebook, you can't mention wanting, like, you can't even say like, man, I could really go for sex right now without getting hit up for a ban.
Yeah. And people like actual sex workers have come out saying that this doesn't help them. In fact, this hurts them because they have to rely on pimps again.
Yep.
Which previously is the good thing about the online community is that people can advertise for it and they can kind of control what they did and did not do. But if you go based off of the old days, pre-internet, they had to rely on like a broker, if you will, in this case the pimp, and that can cause a lot of like deadly situations because a lot of sex workers won't even go to the
Yeah.
police for being abused because what they're doing is technically illegal.
Yep. So yeah, thanks everybody for fucking people over. Speaking of Facebook fucking people over, I'm gonna get into one more story before we close out. I had a 3-day ban on Facebook.
Yeah, for white trash.
Yep, I used the term white trash, and it was like, this is flagged as hate speech, which I would have been fine with if not for the fact that I have reported actual like hate speech and got told, oh, this doesn't break our community guideline.
Yeah, get your shit together, Facebook. I don't know. At this point, a portion of me just wants to end my Facebook account.
I do too, but there's people on there that's the only way I can get a hold of them.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I don't
boat.
have their phone numbers, and it's just like I don't want this anymore. But
It's-
I can't.
It's become a burden, but a necessity burden, if you will.
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah. So who knows? I honestly I would delete
So,
my
yeah.
Facebook right now if I didn't have to use it to keep up with people.
So yeah, according to Facebook, the term white trash, apparently it's the trash part that triggers it.
That makes no
But
sense.
calling something trash is considered hate speech.
Who knows? You know what? Facebook, get your shit together. We've already mentioned this for Tumblr, but Facebook also get your shit together.
Yeah. So yeah. Anything else before we end this? Sorry, this was a long episode, guys.
I think that's it. I mean, it's the holiday season. For those of you who are religious that do listen to us, I know we've made fun of your religion, but honestly, we only have problems with my problem is with the institution of religion, not the religion itself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are religious, Merry Christmas. If you're, we got, I'm sure some Wiccan listeners, Happy Winter Solstice. Festivus
Which
for the rest of us,
was
of
2
course.
days ago, by the way.
Oh. Regardless.
And then earlier in the month, Hanukkah was earlier in the month.
And then, of course, Festivus for the rest of us. That's, Candle Night's
Oh,
copyright.
Jesus.
Candle Night's copyrighted by the McElroy family.
Yeah.
Whatever your particular holiday is, mine is, I guess I'm going to call mine Smashmas, because I'm going to play some video games on it.
I plan on going to watch some movies and eat a pizza because I really don't celebrate Christmas. So, yeah.
Yeah. But thank y'all for listening. It's been a good... hold on. Because this will probably be the last episode of the year.
Probably, yes. We probably
yeah.
won't make a video until next year. So, yeah.
Thanks for listening to us for this whole year.
Right? Oh my God. We went through another year. Like, right?
Yeah. Like, no, okay. We say this often, and sometimes it tends to lose its, its luster. But we actually do appreciate you guys for listening. We appreciate for, your downloads, your interactions. We appreciate when you follow us. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah. From the bottom of our hearts, thanks to everyone. And please, 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 we need reviews. That's how we're going to get up there higher so we can actually maybe have this thing support itself. And if you want to give us something for Christmas, give us some 5-star reviews on the iTunes.
Yeah, or subscribe, recommend to your friends. We don't want your money, that's for sure. You don't need that money, but it would be nice to have people who can,
It'd be nice if we can get like an advertiser or two just to pay for the month to month.
Also, if you want to interact with us, like, go ahead and do so. Legitimately, like, hit us on Twitter, Facebook. Email us at gspeakus@gmail.com. We didn't just make that. We made that for people to go ahead and talk with us if you wanted to.
Yeah, and we're both fairly active on Twitters.
Yeah.
Dean is usually the one running on Geekus Speakus. Occasionally, I'll jump in real quick to say something, but I'm usually on my own Twitter at Arxist.
And, if you want to reach out to us, feel free to do so. I mean, admittedly, I've mentioned I'm fairly antisocial, but I don't mind if people message me just to wanting to talk. Or if you want to, if there's anything you want to let us know, or there's like, if you want to interact, basically what I'm saying is feel free to do so.
Yeah.
But I think that's it.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up real fast. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. I'm Brian.
I'm Dean. Have a good night, everyone.
And have a happy new year. Be safe, New Year's.
And a happy new year.
No, seriously though, guys. I know we're ending out, but please be safe on New Year's. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, don't drink and drive.
Enjoy yourself, but get a cab or ride a bus or something. Like, get an Uber.
Don't use Uber. Use Lyft.
Yes, I prefer Lyft. I prefer Lyft. I don't know why I said Uber, but yeah. We'll catch you guys next year.
See you guys next year. Thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode. If you like our shows, you can stay up to date on our social media accounts. You have Facebook at facebook.com/Geekus Speakus, or you can find us on Twitter at Geekus Speakus. We're also on Tumblr. If you want to message us, you can feel free to do so at gspeakus@gmail.com. Feel free to contact us, give any opinions or any suggestions. I would like to thank the band The Spinwires for their song Girls Like You. You can find them on their Bandcamp for the newest albums. I'll also like to thank Tom for his awesome logo art that we got. Last bit here is I would like to thank you for, listening to our show. We really appreciate it. Feel free to, find us on pretty much anything nowadays. So Google Play, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Feel free to rate, subscribe, and just share it with your friends and family if you think we're appropriate. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for listening. Have a good night.